This is the briefing for Tuesday, August 25th. If there's ever been a more boring time in the markets, I'm not sure when it was, but this certainly is a very boring time. Individual stocks and some individual stocks, there's some action and some things to do. I covered a couple of those trades that I made last week, waiting for this market to begin to move in one direction or the other. But basically, for the last 4 trading days, we really have no movement at all except for a pause. And you can see that right through here. I got an upper extreme right about the 768 area in the spiders and a lower extreme coming in right around 762. In the Qs, I got 715 as an upper extreme and as a lower extreme 702. Let's call it 703. About the 300 area in the IWM for upper, and about the 297 area in the IWM for the lower extreme. Now, if you try and trade this, you might be better than I am at it, but I just get chopped up in stuff like this. So what I do is I look for these areas of support and resistance, and then when we get a move, we get a break. It's a pretty good break, and it's certainly worth the risk for the reward, because it's not going to be a short move like this move through here. It's going to be something much bigger like this move through here. And that's what I'm kind of looking for. So basically, I'm sitting on my hands except for making a few trades in some individual stocks that I covered previously, as I said. Market breadth, this is S&P market breadth. It's 92 shares out of 500 positive, only 1,300 shares in the NASDAQ positive, and 241 shares in the Russell positive. So really, nothing to write home about. Internals are not giving us any indication as to which direction this break is going to come. But when it does come, and when we test one of the upper extremes, and you can see we're trading right in the middle of the range, and really not testing either extreme. But when we get to that point and we do get a break, the internals will tell us whether it's going to be a false breakout or whether it's going to be something that we can look forward to and certainly have a pretty good move on it. Lower extreme in the daily chart, this area of rotation right through here, and this is a pretty good example again of going. This began on August 4th, so for almost the whole month of August, we've just been in a trading range. 760 is the lower extreme, looking about the 779, 780 area is the upper extreme on a longer term basis. Volume in the spiders still down. 52-week highs minus 52-week lows, just barely positive at 79 shares, and 420 in the NYSE breadth. Only 420 shares in the NYSE are trading higher as opposed to lower. In the NASDAQ, you can see a little bit more weakness where the S&Ps are testing this upper extreme. We've got a rotation just below that extreme in the Qs. Upper extreme comes in at 736, lower extreme coming in right around the 706 area. So that's a little bit more tradable. And what I do is I'll look at something like this, and then if we bounce off of here, and the higher probability is always for rotation. So if we bounce off of this area, you can see we try to trade through a little bit of a false breakout, but buyers stepped in. You can see a small buying tail there. Buyer stepped in, drove it back up, closed right on the extreme. And then, of course, we're a little bit higher in today's trading. So if we do get this rotation back, I would want to catch that. It might take only a day or a couple days, but that could be a good move. Now, compare that to this. That was the Qs we were looking at. So I'll use this example. A break out of this area, the 715 area on a 60-minute chart, would lead you to believe that, let me get the Qs back up here again, that would lead you to believe the higher probability is increasing that you're going to see rotation back through this range. Breaking through the lower extreme, and I'm just using this as an example, breaking through the lower extreme here, you can see that's at the 702, 703 area, would then suggest potentially that we're going to be testing this area through here, which would be about the 686 area, and potentially even down to about the 657 area. So that would be significant. And that rotation in a even greater degree time frame would resolve this type of rotational pattern here. So it's easy to see that we are basically in a rotational pattern in multiple time frames. It is tradable in the longer term time frames, but not so much in the shorter term time frames, as I've said. And then, of course, in the Russell, you can see only 241 shares positive in Russell Breadth. IWM, you can see the rotational pattern here, and then a shorter term rotational pattern right through here. Same thing with the Russell on the 60-minute chart. If we get a breakout of that shorter term rotation, then that's going to suggest the potential for a higher move or a rotation back up through this range here. In terms of overbought and oversold, because the internals are really not doing anything, this is just basically flat. We are basically neutral in both the NYSE and the NASDAQ. And finally, in total volume on the NYSE, you can see how low we are. Total volume on the NASDAQ, you can see how low we are. Once again, we are in the final week of August. Then next week, we've got Labor Day coming up, the Labor Day weekend coming up the week after this weekend. So we might have at least the rest of this week and maybe parts of next week where we're still going to see low volume as a result of the holidays that are coming up. Tough to watch and to work on these markets, but good time to be scanning stocks, looking at charts, and trying to figure out where we can eke out at least a little bit of money during this time of rotation. Have a great night, and I'll pick this back up tomorrow.